Well, today, folks, I'm trying to fix a dipstick tube in my Express Van 1500. This is a 2007. I just bought this van maybe, oh, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or less. Sometime in April, I think. April, I think is when I bought it. Anyway, it's been, this is May, June. Oh, okay, a couple months. Anyway, in order to do this, I got to pull the seat out, which I did. I had to pull the seat back. This passenger side. It takes 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 2 panels on the side, on each side, and then this comes out, the center console. There was a section in front that I had to pull off, 4 bolts that came off, and then I was able to access the restrainers. There's 4 of them, one or 2 on each side, 2 in the center, 1 on the side over there, and then 1 over here. But it was kind of interesting because when I pulled this off, and look what I found. Wow. Looks like a squirrel's nest or a bird's nest or something. But I've been driving this van like this for, I don't know, 2 months. And I never really took a look at this. So this could have caught a fire. I could have been in serious trouble. Well, she ran good, and never really anticipated a bird's nest inside my engine compartment. But holy moly. And it's been running fine. I've had no issues. But we'll take a look. The only issue I have had is my oil pressure gauge keeps fluctuating down to, to the danger zone on the gauge. And I believe it's because the dipstick is broken, and I checked the engine. I pulled the dipstick out of it. The tube is actually broken, so there's no way for me to check the oil. So I've been driving this thing for 2 months, and I've been just kind of going off the pressure gauge. If it got low, I added half a quart or a quart of oil. Only added a couple of times in about 2,000 miles. But it's time. I got to check it. Got to fix it, because I got to know how much oil's in this engine before it completely burns up on me. But this is interesting. This could have been a fire. I can't believe it. Oh boy. Well, I've got to get a garbage bag and get rid of that first before I can continue on. So keep watching. Maybe there'll be more interesting things along the way. Okay, apparently what broke on this is half of the dipstick, and it corroded just behind, down here where this clamp is. It came apart and broke off. You can see this little plastic clip. So just beyond that, and in order to get to that, you have to pull off this. This is the reservoir for the radiator. Just pull out 1 bolt here, and then this comes out, slides out, just like that. The air cleaner has 2 bolts too. You just take these 2 out, and there's a clamp back there you have to unsecure. So that just comes right out. And you have to take off the bolts. There's 1 bolt on this side, right here. They're M10s, or 10 millimeter, and 1 bolt on this side. And then you can expose the dipstick tube in the back. I can feel it. You probably can't see it, but I can feel the broken part of it right here in the middle. And so now I should be able to get it from the back side of it. And what it is, it's a 2-part dipstick. There's actually 2 pieces to this dipstick. And if you look here, it's joined right here. So the top part goes, of course, up to the top of the engine, is joined here at this junction, and then continues on to the bottom of the engine. Now, I checked that down below. It's fine. But it broke up top, so that's where I'm going to separate. I'm going to try and remove it right at this juncture, and then put a new piece in from the top. To get that other section out, if you needed to get that other section out, there is a bolt that's just above the manifold, and you'd have to get it from underneath. You have to remove the wheel, you have to remove the passenger side tire wheel, and then there's an M10 bolt in there that secures it to the manifold, or next to the manifold. And then you'd have to pry that tube out of there, and that's not much fun. So I'm glad it broke up top. Down here looks okay, so I'm gonna I'm just going to continue on. So it's basically half a dipstick that I need to replace. So we'll go from here. And but it's a good idea to take the shroud out anyway. As you saw, I had a bird's nest in here, or a squirrel nest or something. And boy, I'm glad it didn't catch on fire. I don't know if that happened, you know, before, you know, during the previous ownership of this vehicle, or if it happened in the 2 months that I've had it. But man, this vehicle don't sit that long, and I don't think that it's been there. Well, it looks like it's been there a while, but who knows? Anyway, we'll continue on. I'm going to get some vice grips, maybe clamp onto that top tube, and then try to pound it out with a hammer and see what happens. So stay tuned. Actually, I can see the M10 fastener that is clamped on here. It's actually right here. It's right back here. So you'd have to pull that M10 off. And it's got that long bracket that's secured to this, I think. I think that's what that is. I could be mistaken, but yeah, it is part of this. It's a very long bracket. It goes all the way to the, looks like connected to the engine, right behind the manifold. And boy, what a pain in the butt that is. But anyway, I just wanted to show you where that bolt was, and then you could probably remove the lower half if you needed to. There, now you can just see it starting to separate. I just gave it a couple of taps. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it's coming. I'm gonna reset my pliers here. It is destroying the tube even more, but I don't care so much about that. I'm getting a new one. There it is. There it came. Now, I just got to pull it out. Yeah, why am I having such a hard time with that? There it goes. Okay, it's out. That's the old one. Let's take a look at my new one. That's the other half that broke to that. Okay, that's the other half. And the new one is here. So when I purchased this, I thought I was buying one complete tube to replace the whole thing, but apparently that's what you get. Now, I'm not even really sure if that's the right. Yeah, it doesn't even look like the right. No, that doesn't even look right. I mean, I've squeezed this a little bit, but that end don't look the same, that's for sure. I'm a little confused. All right, well, I'm going to have to contact Napa and figure it out, because this is the actual tube, the top half of the tube that did come out, that broke. So, not the same. So anyway, stay tuned. All right, what I tried to do with this dipstick is I tried to get a new one up at Napa, but they didn't carry it for this 4.3 liter, so they said it was a dealership item. So what I ended up doing was taking the two broken pieces and welding it together. I used a MIG welder and welded the two pieces, and I just welded the seam, and it came out pretty good. I should have showed it welding, but I just decided not to. And I put it back in. It's already late now, and I'm trying to get this done, but she's running good. I put 6 new spark plugs in it, and that was a pain in the ass. I took out both seats. As you can see, I took out both seats, and just because I'm too fat to get behind that there and get to those spark plugs. The first ones in the front are the hardest to get, to be honest. You wouldn't think that would be the case, but it was. I mean, I had to take out the 2 panels, the 2 side panels, this center console unhooked and then pulled right out after I got the seats out. That was pretty easy. But anyway, it's running pretty decent. I was able to check my oil finally, and it was full. It was probably a little over full. So I'm glad I got that done. So anyway, I mean, if this helped anybody, I doubt it, but it was kind of entertaining because of the squirrel's nest I found in here. But it didn't seem to have any adverse effect on the running of the motor. So she seems to be running okay. I haven't taken her for a spin yet, but it is running, and it's running pretty smoothly. So anyway, I hope you got something out of this video, but man, that dipstick tube came in here. I was just able to put it back where it belonged. It's a 2-piece dipstick because of the length of it. And I just, up near the top, I brazed it together or welded it together with a MIG welder, and it was fine. I mean, it's got a little bit of an air leak because I couldn't weld the back side of it because that was attached to the bracket. But I don't know if that's going to have any effect on my oil pressure gauge. It seems like my oil pressure was fluctuating quite a bit as I accelerated. I mean, you can see now it's on the low end. But you know, that could be my sending unit too. So I don't know. But it might be considered normal. I don't know. I haven't had this van long enough to know. It doesn't seem to go up much, but it goes up when you accelerate. But down to idle, it's even been down almost to that red zone. So I'm kind of hoping that this will resolve that problem. At least I'll know I can check the oil, see how much is in it. And it seems to be running smooth enough. The check engine light is on, and it's blinking. So I got to figure out what that means. I don't know. Could be a bad sign. Usually anything blinking is a bad sign. So it wasn't doing that before, but it is now. Okay, I got to look into that now. But okay, stay tuned. Okay, so the van's all done. Got my dipstick in. I got my all the seats back in, cowling. I even cleaned up a little bit. This is my daily runner for work, so gotta have it running right. So hopefully everything's looking okay. I did check on the blinking engine light, and that was telling me I had a misfire. So I checked all my connections, and they seem to be okay. Then I started it back up again, and the engine light just stays on, which means it's an evap issue, emission control or whatever, pollution control. So it could be just the gas cap because it just filled up. So I tightened that down. Maybe if I run it a little while, it'll go down or go away. So maybe the light will just stop showing itself. So, all right, we're going to take it for a ride and see what happens. Okay, we're going to start it up. Make sure all the lights go out. And everything goes out except for the engine and battery. So let's see what happens. Well, the engine light's still on. Of course, my seatbelt's not buckled either, but well, I don't know. I'm hoping that engine light will go out. Maybe it'll take a few driving cycles to do that. I mean, I just filled up with gas, and I did tighten down the cap again. So I'm just hoping that that'll work. So, all right. I just got to buckle my seatbelt. Safety first. So, here we go. Let's see what happens. I think it's idling a little strange. Oh, he's close to me. Why did he pull up further? Meatball. That's my son. Yeah, I'm getting a little hesitation. I think it's going to take some driving cycles to get this thing to run properly. I think it's got to relearn how to idle with the PCM or whatever computer system this thing has. Well, the good news is I got my DipStick in, I repaired that, my oil is up full, actually a little over full, but no worries there. I think it's fine. I didn't add all that much. I just had the oil changed maybe a month ago. It's got a couple thousand miles on it. I still have probably a couple more thousand to go before I have to change it using synthetic oil. Off okay. Next thing I got to do on this thing is the brakes. I checked the front brake and it's had a lot of padding left. Rotors look good on one side, but this thing pulls a little bit. Yeah, that engine light's not going out. Well, it might take some time. Watching and tuning in. I'd much rather be working on that boat right now, that boat motor. I think what I'm going to do though, I got a request from Super Clean, and they sent me some materials. I'm going to probably clean that boat and see what it does, see how good it looks. I told the owner I'd do it for him, and you know, of course, no charge. It's just for my own study to see how good that stuff really is or isn't. So anyway, stay tuned for that, and that should, maybe today, I don't know, looks like it's going to rain. If it rains, I'm not going to do it, but maybe when the weather improves a bit. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Alrighty, take care. See you next time.